Hi, hello there. This is my new channel called Ash Knits, and as you can probably tell by the name, I knit. And I talk about knitting, and I do knitting related stuff here. And so if you're into that kind of thing, come and join me, grab some knitting or crocheting or whatever you like to do. And if you're not into that kind of thing, then that's totally fine. You can go watch Among Us or whatever. But today I'm going to be talking about knitting because this is a knitting podcast. Even though it's not really a podcast, I'm just going to be talking about knitting and knitting related things. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing right now. So, first thing I'm going to be talking about are my whips, or work in progresses. So, for my biggest work in progress right now, I like to bring knitting to school, first of all. I like to go to school and bring my knitting, and I like it when I'm kind of introverted and don't have many friends, but I'm also kind of extroverted and want all the friends in the world, and this won't get me friends, but I like to just sit there and knit before class starts, and sometimes people look at me weird, or like say, "Are you knitting?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm knitting," and they're like, "You're weird," and I'm like, "Thank you," because I'm just like that, you know. So this is the current project that I'm bringing to school right now. I'm using this yarn. It's 100% cotton yarn, and I'm not usually gravitated to this color. My favorite color is green, but the yarn was on sale, so, you know, I had to buy it, because, like, if it's on sale, you have to buy it, you know what I mean? So it's by Yarn Bee or whatever. It's cotton, and originally it was $5, but I got it for $1.24, and they had 3 balls of yarn on sale, so I got all 3, because you never know how much you're gonna need. So, this is my project so far. It's in this beautiful alpaca bag because my favorite animal is the alpaca. And, I'm knitting a sweater vest type of thing, you know? I know sweater vests might not be as, like, trendy or whatever as they used to be, but I love sweater vests. So, I made this front panel, and the front panel is a little bit small, so I'm hoping whenever I block it, then it'll get a little bit bigger. But also I made the back panel a little bit wider, so hopefully whenever I stitch them together, it's gonna be alright. But this is it. So, as you can see, it kind of looks like this, and it'll be stretched or whatever. Of course I made a couple mistakes, because who doesn't? But on the bottom, I did a seed stitch, which I thought was pretty cool. It was my first time doing seed stitch. I think it looks pretty cool. I didn't want to do the basic ribbing because I'm not basic. Oh my goodness. But so I just did this. I'm not in love with the armhole type of look, and I don't love V-necks, but like, it's so simple and so easy, I might as well, you know? And so this is what it looks like. Yeah, it's a little cropped, not incredibly cropped, but a little bit, and I'm hopefully happy with it. I don't really know how I feel about it, but I'm pretty excited, and right now I'm working on the back panel. So, this is the shriveled ball of yarn right now, and here it is. So this is the back panel. I didn't intentionally make it longer than the front panel, but I kind of wasn't counting stitches. And I kind of got here and I'm like, when should I start the armholes? And I didn't feel like counting, and so I kind of just started them whenever I felt like starting them. And now the body part is longer than the other one, so I'll figure something out, but hopefully that's alright. I just started the armholes. As you can see, it's definitely wider than the other one. Like, if I get this one versus this one, you can tell a difference. Like, there's all that much space on the new one. And this is gonna be the back panel. It's like this length or whatever. These are the armholes. Again, I'm not super proud of these, but yeah, I'm in the middle of doing those. And the V-neck is cool and all, but I don't think a V-neck for the back would look the best, So I'm just gonna keep on knitting up once I do the armholes. I'm gonna keep on knitting up. It's gonna be kind of like a square neck, hopefully, and then I'll have the straps going up. Also, I purposely made the straps this thick because it's like 2.5 inches or something. Because I want to be able to wear it to school, but I'm not allowed to wear it to school if it's less than 2 inches. And so I made it a little bit more than 2 inches so I can wear it to school, you know? Even though I probably will have a shirt under it at all times, you never know. So, this is the project I'm currently working on. And hopefully it'll be done by end of August, maybe early September, because right now it's the 28th, so I have a couple more days if I wanted to finish it by August. So that is that project that I bring to school. And to kind of say I love cotton yarn, I live in a hot place, and having like wool or alpaca or other fibers isn't really the best option for me because I need something pretty breathable and stuff. And so I found cotton and I have fallen in love. And now I can't stop using cotton. So I have another cotton sweater vest, believe it or not, that I'm working on. This color I actually like a lot better. It's still not my favorite shade of green in the world. I prefer either like a more army green or a more yellowish green or like a more minty green. But like I like all greens. So this green's really beautiful. I just don't think it looks the best on me, but like, you know, whatever. I am knitting, what's it called? I have it written down. It's called College Days by Drops Design. So that is the pattern I'm working on right now. It's a free pattern. I'll link it in the description if you'd like to work on it too. But it's another sweater vest. I'm knitting the size small, even though I probably am the extra small. I didn't count gauge, so we'll see how that works out. But even though I'm probably the extra small, I kind of wanted it to be a little bit bigger, so hopefully that all works out. I'm knitting it in the rounds, as you can see, and I've gotten this far. I've done the ribbing, and I've done part of the stockinette, I guess. Although you're really knitting the whole thing because it's in the round, so I feel like it's not stockinette, but I don't know. I have these really cheap stitch markers, and okay, tell me if you guys have these problems. So I got these stitch markers that were really cheap. They were on sale and stuff, and they made out of this really like rigid plastic. So I've literally gone through almost the entire bag, and they're like little safety pins. So whenever you like open or close a safety pin, it just snaps. Like, look at this. They're meant to go all the way down to the bottom, and they just snap like that. And it's so annoying. I have like 20 of these now, and I just have to throw them away or whatever. I don't know if I just have bad stitch markers, or if I'm just super tough on them for some reason. But anyways, here's the sweater vest. I'm really proud of it so far. I found this beautiful yarn, again by Yarn Bee, and it's called Sugar Wheel Cotton Solids. It is 100% cotton, and it's literally the softest yarn in the world. Not actually the softest yarn, but it's the softest lightweight yarn I've ever felt. It's not like mohair where it's like super soft and fuzzy, but it's like super soft and lightweight. And I just think it's so nice and drapey, and I love it to death. And I'm excited. So, I've been working on that as well. And any others? Oh, yes. So, across the street, I have some neighbors. And they have a little girl and a little boy. And I like to hang out with them, babysit them, you know. Just be friends with them and stuff. And so, for the little boy, I'm working on a project for him. So, let me bring it up here. It's kind of a big project. But, I'm using the cheapest acrylic yarn I could possibly find. I typically don't like acrylic yarn because I prefer more sustainable and less heavy and thick and not as good yarns. But I needed something really cheap because I needed a lot of it. And I'm knitting a little hooded blanket for him. So it's a little dinosaur hooded blanket. As you can see, I haven't gone very far. But he has these little dinosaur slippers and stuff, and they're so adorable. And I thought they would look perfect with a little dinosaur hooded blanket. And so I'm using 3 strands right now. I'm using 1 strand of this lighter green and 2 strands of this darker green. By the way, the brand is Crafter's Secret Big Idea or something, just like a random like knockoff brand. And I thought the texture is so cool. I haven't even finished like one of the sections or whatever. But look at this, alright? They have these little like leaf type of shapes, and they have, it's like the leaf is like a stockinette and this is like a garter or whatever. And then I'm doing another row of it, and there's gonna be another leaf shape over here or whatever. But I just thought that was so cool, and like it goes all the way across. And it kind of looks like leaves or little dinosaur toenails or like cartoon drawings or something. And I thought that was so adorable. And, you know, I'm so happy with it. The way they do it is they have you have so I'm doing the toddler size, so it's like 84 stitches or something across. I can't remember the exact amount. But then they have you do slip stitches at certain points. And once you do the slip stitches, you keep on going, doing more and more and more slip stitches until it gets like a really big area. And then they have you knit 4 together through the back loop and then knit 4 together through the regular loop. And it kind of gathers it all together like this and makes this really cool leaf looking shape. And I thought that was so cool. And it was my first time ever buying a pattern. So I've never bought a pattern before. The only ones I've used have been free patterns. And so, but then I discovered Ravelry, and like, Ravelry has changed my life. And I bought my first pattern for $5. And this pattern is so cool. I printed it out because I can, and it's easy. So it's called Hooded Dinosaur Blanket by Crystal's Crazy Knits. And I will link the pattern to Ravelry in the description below. But like, I'm not going to show you all the details because that would be probably illegal. But it's super duper cool pattern with, it's super easy to follow. And they have 2 different designs, whether you want to do a regular design with like a dinosaur with like spikes going down its back, or if you want to do like a triceratops and stuff. It's just so adorable. And they have 3 sizes, which are toddler, kids, and adults. And I haven't finished it, of course, so I can't really recommend it, but I would totally recommend it if you know a little boy or a little girl or just any size. It doesn't have to be little, just like anybody who wants a dinosaur-themed hooded blanket. Then like, this is, I don't know, I've never done something like this before, but it's just I'm so excited. Hopefully I can get it to him by Christmas or his birthday or something, but oh, it's so cute. But yeah, so those are my work in progresses right now. And now I'm going to talk about things that I want to knit, alright? So there's this one pattern by Paintbox Yarn, and they are a acrylic yarn company, so I don't buy their yarns, but they have this really pretty, really gorgeous bag called the Hanna Tote Bag, and it is a free pattern, and I fell in love. Well, I completely fell in love, alright? And I found this yarn at the store, and I completely fell in love with it too. And I was like, I have to get this yarn and knit this bag. And so I got these 3 yarns over here. And it is the Lazy Days yarn, like this, if you can see. It was a little expensive. It was $7 per ball, and that kind of hurt my heart because it's also 100% polyester, which really isn't like any better than acrylic. And so it did hurt my heart a little bit, but I love these colors. Like, this is exactly my favorite color. This is my favorite shade of green. It doesn't come out on the camera too well. It's a lot more vibrant in person, but this is amazing. This is absolutely beautiful. And I love that it's kind of like a more cordy type of yarn. Like it's not super fuzzy or soft. It doesn't feel like it would get super fuzzy or soft or fray or anything. Like if you look at the cut end, it's not fraying much. It's more, since it's like a polyester, it's more of a cord or holds its shape type of thing. It's not super fuzzy. And that, I feel like that wouldn't be very good for like clothing, but I thought it would look adorable in that bag. And the bag has 3 colors, and now I have 3 colors. I have this beautiful green, I have this like mauve-y pink type of color, and I have this like a bubblegum cotton candy sky blue type of color, and I have to make it. And if you're wondering why it's currently like yarn barf, that is because I actually already made the bag. Well, I started on the front panel, and I got like a good 6 centimeters type of thing, and I realized I couldn't deal with it anymore because I made the mistake of, so I cast on with all 3 colors. I didn't know if you were supposed to cast on with all 3 colors or not, but I did. And I made the mistake of doing, right after that, I did a knit row. And that was a problem because whenever I flipped it over to do the knit row, then it was mirrored. So it was supposed to be on the left side, it was on the right side, it was supposed to be on the right side, it was on the left side. And that, it wasn't that big of a problem because it was like, well, it's my project, like it doesn't have to look exactly the same. But it kind of always frustrated me that it was mirrored, and I couldn't deal with it very much. Like the wrong side was the right pattern, but the right side was the wrong pattern, and it was a whole debacle. And the biggest thing that threw me over the edge is I didn't know how to do color work at the time, and I didn't know how to connect the 2 colors and keep them from like separating and making a giant hole. So I simply didn't. I just knitted with it, and then whenever the next color came, I just knitted with that, and it made a giant hole in the knitting because it didn't connect it in any sort of way. It didn't connect the green to the blue or whatever. And so it made giant holes in the knitting, and I couldn't deal with it. So I unraveled it, and I rolled it back up. But I will. Once I finish one of these projects, I will immediately start this one because it is just gorgeous. I use tote bags all the time to carry stuff, and I need this in my life. I absolutely need this in my life. And so hopefully next podcast or the podcast after that or sometime I will be knitting this, and I'm going to be so excited when it's finished. So yes, the second one I wanted to talk to you about is a checkered sweater. So I love checkers. I don't know why, but I've never been into trends like my entire life. I've never really been like a trendy person, but whenever it got to like the 2020 and 2021 trends of like checkers and wavy patterns and all the colors, and it just made my heart so happy, and I love it to death, and I can't get enough of it. Even though the trends might be dead, I don't care. I need it in my life. And so, I decided I need a checkered sweater, alright? I need a checkered sweater, and I need it now. And I, again, didn't know how to do color work. I didn't know how to swap colors vertically. I just knew how to do it horizontally, not vertically. And so I did a test, and I wanted black and white checkers, and I wanted it to be a very holy, like it has a bunch of holes in it, type of sweater, like not a super thick one, again, because I live in a hot place. I can't really wear a very thick sweater, unfortunately. So I got this yarn that was probably suggested size of like 6 or 7 millimeter needles, and I used like size 10 millimeter needles. And before, I'm going to show you my first ever test knit of that, and let's just say it did not go well. I'm just going to show you, alright? Oh my goodness. at this. So first of all, I made the checkers way too long. I did 20 stitches across. 20 stitches across, and I only did like 7 up, but because the floats in between like the white and the black, because they were so long, they were kind of cinching it in, and I was like, oh, it looks like a square, it's all right. And so and then once I finished and cut all the floats, I was like, oh my goodness, that is a giant rectangle, it's not a square. So that's mildly a problem. But then I was like, oh, it'll be alright. I'll just like cinch it in like this and everything will be okay. But also it's way too short. I wanted it to be kind of cropped, but not like that cropped. And so that was a problem. Third problem is it's way too long. Like it's enough to go all the way around my body. Like that is way too long. And so at this point I was just like, well, let's just figure out the floats and hopefully everything will go all right, you know? So I cut all the floats. I cut them, and after that I didn't know what to do. So I tied the floats together with knots. Like I got the black floats, cut them, white floats, cut them, all right? Then I got a black and a white and tied them together. Black and white, tied them together. Black and white, tied them together. I did that all the way around. The whole thing. It took forever. It took like an entire day. And after that, I got a tapestry needle and tried to weave it in, but it didn't really work because it's so holey. It's not going to hold anything weaved in. So that was a complete waste of time, but I did it anyway. I can say I'm kind of proud of this 2x2 ribbing. Oh wait, something fell. I am kind of proud of this 2x2 ribbing. It's kind of pretty, you know. I used size 7mm here. It's pretty stretchy and, you know, coolness, but it's not good, and it's a complete mess. So I want to redo it. But the biggest another problem with it is the white was very fuzzy and kind of filled in the shapes, and the black was very holey and like was kind of like fishnet type of material because there were different types of yarn. Like the fuzzy one was wool and the black one was like acrylic or something, and so that didn't work very well. So they didn't have a black ball of yarn in the same brand as the white. Yeah. So I love green, so I got a green ball. So here's this beautiful green ball of yarn. Same brand as the white, so white, same brand, you know. It's again by Yarn Bee. Don't ask me why, I just love it. It's called Chloe Pine Forest or something, and it is, what's the material? It is 70% wool, 30% viscose. I don't know what viscose is. I pride myself in knowing like fiber types and what they are and what they mean and how good they are and stuff like that. I love learning about fiber and stuff. And I don't know what viscose is, or viscose or viscose. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know what it is, and that is a problem to me. And so if you know, please tell me. Otherwise, I'm going to spend my entire life trying to figure out what in the world viscose is, and I'll go into a giant rabbit hole and destroy my life. But anyways, this beautiful green. I love green. This is more of an army green. It's, again, not my favorite. It kind of looks like a algae swamp. But I think it's pretty. And unfortunately, I couldn't unravel the black and white nonsense to get like an entire ball of white back because I had already cut the floats. So now I just have a little bit of white left, so I may need to buy another ball, but I just like raveled it back up or whatever. So this is what it looks like. It's the same thing as this ball, but just white and now less quantity. And I'm hopefully going to try to knit something kind of like that, maybe with a couple less holes, maybe like size 8 or 9mm, probably size 8mm. I'm going to try to knit checkeriness and have green sleeves because I'm not going to have enough white to make sleeves. And so I'm really excited for that. I hope everything goes well. I hope the wool is alright in this heat and the texture, it's not too itchy and it doesn't smell in the rain. I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully it's alright. I've never used wool before, but I'm excited and I can't wait to knit this. I love checkers, I love green, and I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna keep on talking because that's what I'm doing here. But my throat is a little bit tired. But I don't care right now, so let's keep talking. Okay, I'm not a compulsive buyer. I will not buy stuff just because it's on sale. But you bring me in a yarn aisle, I will buy stuff just because it's on sale. Even if it's like always 30% off or something, even if the sign says always 30% off or something like that, I will buy it because it's on sale. I'm not like that for anything. But when it comes to yarn, oh my goodness, I cannot. And I found these two beautiful yarns. They are 77% cotton, which I love. I love cotton, like I said. But they are 23% acrylic. And that's not the worst thing in the world, but I'm not in love with acrylic, just so many factors. But I just couldn't get over how soft it was and how beautiful it is. So, Yarn Bee again, I got this beautiful yarn. So let me show you. It's called Cotton XXL New Spin Beachy Keen. I don't know what that means, but like look at this and look at the yarn. It's so pretty, and it has like a little swatch on the picture, you know. Oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous. I got 2 of them. They were a little expensive. I feel really bad because I might have to buy more depending on the project. But it's just so beautiful. Like, oh my goodness. It's so soft. And I don't know what I want to make with it. It's such a problem. See, I always want to know what I'm going to make with a project before I buy the yarn, because otherwise I'm not going to make a product out of it. It's just going to sit on my shelf forever and ever, and I'm never going to do anything with it. And that's a problem. So I always like knowing what project I'm going to make with the yarn before I buy it. But with this, I was just like, I have to have it now, and there is no waiting. And so I didn't have a project in mind for this. I don't have a project in mind for this, and I don't know what I'm gonna make with it. And I'm really scared, because I really want to make something with it, like now, but I don't know what. Like, I could knit a sweater vest, but I'm knitting a bajillion sweater vests. And this isn't my preferred weight. I prefer like 3 to 3.5 millimeter, or like chunky 10 millimeter. I don't prefer, this is 9 millimeter, but I feel like it's more of like an 8 millimeter. I don't prefer this weight, and I don't know what to do with it. The only thing I can come up with is a sweater vest, but I feel like it's going to be too hot to be a sweater vest, and I don't know if it'll be the best thing, and I don't know what else I would make out of it. I wouldn't make a bag, I wouldn't make a skirt, I wouldn't make a shirt, I wouldn't make a blanket, I wouldn't make, I don't know. If you have any ideas for this, please tell me. It's so gorgeous, and I could feel this forever. It's amazing, and it looks amazing, but I don't know what to make with it. So please tell me if you have any ideas. I am in pain not knitting with it right now. And last thing is I really want to get into sock knitting. I love knitting in the round, and I love knitting with like 3 millimeter and I'm up to working with like 2.5 millimeter. I'm fine working with that. I don't mind working super small, but I don't want to learn double pointed needles. I really don't want to learn double pointed needles. I know some people who like to use small circular needles, so I found some small circular needles on sale, and I'm hoping that they will work. I have another pair that has a longer cable in case I need a longer cable for some reason. But I found these, and I don't know. I'm not an expert on sock knitting. They're 3.25 millimeters. So hopefully they will be all right. If you know anything about sock knitting, please tell me if those are acceptable sock knitting needles. And I'm up for learning double pointed needles if I have to, but if I don't have to, then I don't really want to. And I just got this really cheap on sale. Oh my goodness, I am such a sucker for sales. But I got this cheap on sale sock yarn. It was $2.24 for this ball whenever it was on sale instead of $8 that it was before. So, you know, I had to buy it. It's a super beautiful color by Pardon's Croy Socks. I don't know, I've never seen that brand before, but maybe you know. It's beautiful. My biggest worry is that it's 75% wool, and I've heard that wool gets smelly if it's in water. I don't know if that's true or not, because again, I've never worked with wool, but if it does, it's gonna be on your feet, and I don't know how that's gonna work out. It's also 25% nylon, so that's not the best for sustainability, but I think it's good to have some syntheticness in socks. I don't know for sure, but I think it is. Again, I've never knit socks before, but I really just want to find like a really easy, free pattern for socks and try knitting socks, see if I like it. And I'm really excited for that. If I need another color for it for some reason, for like the toe or heel or something, I have this black yarn that I used for the checkered stuff. I don't really have much of it, but I think it'll be enough to do like a toe or something. So hopefully I get to learn how to make socks, and I'm excited because I've never done that before. I have a list over here of what I need to talk about in this video, so if I'm looking over here, I'm just looking at my list. So I'm going to show you some of my finished knits. So the first one is, remember how I said I'm making the dinosaur blanket for the little boy across the street? Well, he has an older sister, and I wanted to make something for her too, and I already finished it. So it's not as cool as a dinosaur hooded blanket, like come on dude, but it's something, so yeah. I made this little beanie, this little hat, and her head's smaller than mine. Her head's pretty small, so it doesn't fit me nearly as well as I think it'll fit her. So like I can put it on, but like it looks small on me, but I think it'll be good for her. The only reason I haven't given it to her yet is, first of all, because it's 100 degrees outside, 100 Fahrenheit, don't worry, I'd be dead if it was 100 Celsius, but, it's super hot outside, so she wouldn't wear it anyway, but also, I may or may not have forgotten to change the needle size, for the ribbing, so it's not very stretchy or anything. I mean, like, it stretches, but, like, it's not tight enough around your head, so I put some elastic thread in here, and that helped a lot. It really did. But I put it on my big fat head, and the elastic thread snapped, and that's a problem. So I just need to spend like 5 minutes putting some new elastic thread in here, not putting it on my big fat head, and instead putting it on her amazing size head. So I just need to put some new elastic thread in here, and then I can give it to her, and I'm so excited. I think she'll really like these colors. Like, it's just so gorgeous. I really wanted to make it a little bit bigger, maybe add some more ribbing, or make it a little bit taller or something, but unfortunately, since it was on sale, it wasn't very much yarn, and they didn't have any more of this color that I could get, so I was playing yarn chicken, and I didn't have enough yarn to finish what I wanted to do. So like I used every last little bit of yarn I had left and made this. So hopefully it's gonna be good. And then I used some acrylic yarn and made this little puff ball on the top. I might have to trim a little bit more, but I think it's pretty cute. So I just need to put some new elastic thread in here, and then I can give it to her. I'm super excited. I hope she likes it. Aww. And then, what else do I need to show you? Okay, yes. So, I want to show you my first ever wearable knitted item. So before this, I had knitted scarves and hats and stuff, but I've never knitted like a shirt or a sweater vest or sweater or anything like that. I never knitted something like that before, and I really wanted to learn. And so I picked up these two beautiful balls of yarn. There was a green color and a like goldish yellow color, and I thought it was so cool because it had like a certain percentage. I think it was like 75 or something bamboo. It was made out of bamboo, and that is so cool to me. It still is so cool to me. Like that you can make it out of bamboo. I've heard people making yarn out of pineapple. Like that's just insane. It's amazing. I love learning about fibers. But it was bamboo and viscose. Again, viscose. Again, I don't know what it is, but it's so soft, honestly. And I made a sweater vest as my first wearable item. I didn't use a pattern. I just knit and hoped for the best. And the best actually kind of came. It's of course not the best because it was my first ever wearable item, but I think it looks pretty cool actually. So I'm going to show you. Now bear in mind, the original yarn was a little bit too thin for me at the time. I liked working a little bit thicker because I was still kind of a beginner. And so I used 2 strands at once. I used 1 strand of the gold and 1 strand of the desaturated green color. And everything's alright, but I think it looks good. I like green and gold. I think they look amazing together and stuff. But it does kind of look like some knockoff bad camo or some really weird sick tiger stripes or barf or something. The color mixed together and now it looks a little bit weird, but I love it personally. Like a white shirt underneath and black jeans or black leggings or something. I really love it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and show you. So this is it. This is my sweater vest. You can see, this is the color I was talking about. I personally love it. Some people may hate it, but I'm alright with that. I didn't do any ribbing at the bottom because I didn't feel like it. So it's a little bit curled at the bottom, but I don't really care. The biggest problem, in my opinion, is you can see the V-neck is starting to die a little bit, but whatever. I've only worn it once in public, but I am proud that I wore it in public, alright? The stitching isn't the best. Like, it's actually pretty bad. Like, if you look there and stuff, it's not very good. But I don't really care because it's mine. It's special to me. It's my first ever wearable item, and it's the first thing I've ever blocked. Because before this, I didn't even know what blocking was. And so I blocked it, and now it's all nice and drapey, and it's beautiful. It is a little bit tight, but not super tight. So, like, of course, I would never put it over this shirt, but if I just put it on for a second, like, look at this. I'm so proud of it. Like, look. I don't know. I just think it's so cute. I don't know if you can see the back, but yeah. I'm so proud of it. First ever wearable item. I think it's so cool. I would totally wear it under a white shirt and with some black pants or something. I'm proud of it. And this is what got me in the sweater vest knitting craze. And now I can't stop because I can't knit sweaters here because it's so hot outside and it wouldn't be very practical. And I can knit t-shirts. I want to knit a t-shirt like super bad soon. I just haven't yet. And like I can't knit a lot of cozier items, and I don't really like shawls all that much. Not very convenient for me. And so I love sweater vests, and I will not stop for probably like a year or two until I get sick of knitting sweater vests. But yes, that is my beautiful sweater vest. I'm so proud of it, and hopefully my other ones that I'm working on right now will turn out pretty good as well. I talk a lot. Did you notice that? I talk a lot. Sometimes it's annoying to talk this much, but whatever. Oh my goodness, I'm such an idiot. Okay, another finished item is, okay, I'm not super proud of this. So basically, I found this chunky yarn, and it was on sale, and you know me by now. If it's on sale, I will buy it. And it's my first ever super duper chunky yarn, and I wanted it so bad, and so I got it, and I got 3 big balls. They were like twice the size of my head each. They're ginormous. But if you know anything about chunky yarn, you get a big ball, and you get like this long of yarn. Alright, and not actually that short, but it's super, like, not much at all. And so I wanted to knit a blanket with it, but it was already, the price is already piling up super high, and like it was expensive. 3 balls of chunky yarn was like $20 or $30, and it was insane. And I couldn't buy another one, and I didn't have any needles chunky enough to knit with it. So an intellectual, alright, would go on to YouTube or something and find one of those tutorials where someone goes on their like living room floor or something and pulls it across and whatever they do, and they have it on the ground and they're knitting with it on the ground or whatever. I've seen those videos, I don't know if you have, but they're so cool. An intellectual would find a video and be like, oh, that's so cool, I'm gonna do that now. But no, instead I used my arms as knitting needles, alright? I cast onto my arms, I knit all the way across, garter stitch, and then once it got here, I took it off of my arms and put it back on the other one, because I can't like knit like that or whatever. And so, oh my goodness, I knit the entire thing on my arms. And so it's super holey, it has a bunch of holes and everything, so it's not a very convenient project. It's not a very convenient blanket because like your feet will stick through the edge or whatever, but it's super soft, and it's more of a blanket like you put on your couch or chair or something, and you're like, hey, guess what, that kind of looks a little cool. Yeah. And so this is the yarn I used. It's super chunky, as you can see, and it's beautiful. You know, this is all the leftover I have. And this is the blanket. Again, super holey, which is kind of nice because, again, I live in a hot place, and you don't want something super hot in a hot place, but also this is a little unnecessarily big and holey and stuff. So here it is. It's kind of cool, I guess. As you can see, you can sit with it, and it's a blanket. I'm not super proud of it, I'm not super happy with it, but, you know, it's pretty cool. My mom said that she liked it. I don't know if she was saying this right thing or not. I'm not super proud of it, but, you know, she said it was alright, so, you know, that's that. Okay, now, yeah, I want to talk about that. So, I feel like I say so a lot. I'm like, so, I really, a couple months ago, wanted to learn how to knit a raglan sweater, even though, again, like I've said, oh my goodness, like I've said a bajillion times today, I live in a hot place, so I don't really have a need for a sweater, but I still want to know how to knit a sweater, just in case something happens and I need to knit a sweater, or I want to show off to my friends, be like, hey, guess what, I know how to knit a sweater. And so I decided I wanted to learn how to knit a basic raglan, but all the patterns that I saw, all the free patterns, I was just like, KFB what? I am so confused. And so I found this class on Skillshare by Sheep and Stitch. I really like her, by the way. Like, I saw some of her videos, and that's what got me into knitting. Like, she's the one that, like, instructed me, like, how to do the knit stitch and stuff. So, I found this class on Skillshare. I was doing a free trial at the time, and it was how to knit your first raglan, and I was like, let's do that. And so, I started with my first raglan or whatever, and I didn't knit all of it because I was lazy, and I was using acrylic yarn as a test. So, like I've said, I don't love acrylic yarn, and for multiple reasons. And but I decided to use acrylic yarn, some leftover I had from whenever I first started. I decided to use some acrylic yarn for knitting this, just as a test. I'm not actually going to wear this, because it's my first thing I probably messed up a bajillion times. So I just got some acrylic yarn and started knitting, and it actually turned out pretty well, but I only knitted like the yoke. I think it's called the yoke, right? I only knitted like the yoke. I didn't continue with the arms, so there's still scrap yarn for the arms, and I didn't get anywhere close to finishing the body, and I didn't really try either because I just wanted to finish the yoke and be like, I know how to do it now. Now I can actually read the patterns mildly. And so this is the beautiful sweater, right? So like this is the neck. I didn't do the eye cord or anything. This is the back and, you know, arms. So I'm gonna put it on just so you can kind of see, but it's definitely not a sweater right now. I made the size small because it's easiest because she was knitting the size small, and I just wanted to do exactly what she said instead of having to like do my own stuff. So this is it. The back is kind of a mess because I can't reach back there, but it's still on the scrap yarn. The sleeves are, but you know, I made this, and here are all the KFB raglan stuff. I'm actually really happy with it, even though it's not a sweater or anything. I'm really proud of the fact that I learned how to do raglan stuff, and I think it looks, well, it doesn't look cool, but I think that I now have the tools and knowledge and stuff to knit a raglan sweater if I absolutely had to. So, that's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. Yeah, is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Okay, so basically I don't really have many other knitting projects I can show you right now, but I do want to talk about this channel a little bit. If you don't want to talk about the channel, go ahead and click off. It's totally fine. Have a great, wonderful rest of your day, and I hope everything's alright. If you do care, then, so I don't really know what to do on this channel, but I do like talking a lot, as you can probably tell with this 46 minutes that this has been going on so far. I do like talking, and so I'm totally fine talking and making these podcast type of things and just talking about knitting or like knit with me type of videos. I love doing that, but I'm also completely open to other ideas. Like, I really want to learn how to crochet, because there's so many cool things you can do with knitting. Like, you can knit sweaters and garments and stuff, but you can't really knit, like, granny squares, and I really love granny squares. Like, they're gorgeous, and so I really want to learn how to crochet, and there's so many other cool things you can do, like make stuffed animals and stuff, and I really want to learn how to crochet. I got this crochet hook as a gift one time. I don't know if it's good or not. It's 6mm, so I don't know if that's a good size or not, but I really want to learn how to crochet. So if you're interested in that, then I can make a video of me learning how to crochet or something. So if you're interested in that, then that's cool. I also want to learn cables. I don't really love cables. They're not my favorite. Like, if I see a sweater with cables and a sweater without cables, I'll probably go to the one without cables. But I just want to be able to be like, hey, guess what? I know how to do cables. Even though I probably won't do them, or maybe I'll make like a ribbed cable sweater vest, because I think that looks pretty cool. Even though I probably won't knit a bajillion things with cables, I really want to learn cables and stuff. So if you want me to do a video on that, or just like a podcast saying, hey, guess what, I learned cables today, so cool, then that's totally cool. I got some cabling needles. I don't know if they are proper or not, but they were on sale, so you know me by now. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and yeah. I keep on saying, and yeah, is that annoying? I'm so sorry. This is just my first time, you know, but I have a bunch of ideas of stuff I can do, like podcasts, knit with me, learning to crochet, trying good or bad knitting apps. I went onto the app store, and there were literally so many knitting apps. I had no clue there were this many. There were some with like 1-star reviews and some with like 5-star reviews, and it's so polarizing. I'm like, do you guys want to see any of that? Because I don't know, maybe it's interesting. I'm here to do whatever you want me to do, all right? I like learning new things, and I love